Alright, now that I'm done with my pre-podcast snack, we can get on with this.
Pre-podcast musketeers.
Yeah, which I just finished a second ago. Anyways, welcome to Under the Bridge, everybody.
Welcome to Under the Bridge.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I'm Greg, aka Greg.
And this is our podcast, where we talk sometimes gaming news, sometimes comic news, pretty much always movie news, and pretty much also always a movie review. God, I hate that, but I'm stuck with it. I can't think of anything better. Let me know in the comments if you've got something better.
Okay. I mean, I can't think of anything better, mostly because it's not my job to do the intro.
And while you're in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff.
All that good jazz.
Now that we got that out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Day was last week.
Yes, it was.
And as is tradition, the Pokemon Company had their Pokemon Presents, where they tell us about new stuff. Most of it was mobile game related, so I zoned out and didn't pay any attention.
Yeah, that was stuff where I watched the direct that was part of it. It's like, and now, like, Pokemon mobile things, skip. Like, literally, like, didn't even spend more than 2 seconds on it.
Skip cutscene. I guess they got the trading card game simulator thing, which is kind of cool.
It's cool, but part of my brain can't help but go, that feels kind of icky. Just the potential of it being like, oh, open your cards, like, slowly on the digital screen, and it's like, and look at that. I will say the one aspect of that I do genuinely think is super duper cool is the whole thing of kind of blowing up the card on your phone and having it turn into, like, a background of sorts.
Yeah, the fact that they're working on making some of the cards have immersive deep dive sort of backgrounds is the thing that stops me from just saying, well, this is a scam, trying to convince you to buy digital things that you don't own.
I mean, I personally think it's just straight up a scam that just happens to have one really cool aspect of it.
Look, if you get at least one cool thing out of it that you couldn't get physically, I'll cut it a little bit of slack.
Fair.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
It's not like I don't give Pokemon a bunch of crap in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give it to them. Their big announcement at the end of Pokemon Presents, I'm actually decently excited by.
Oh, Pokemon Za?
I haven't heard it pronounced like that before, and now I'm just imagining the Ninja Turtles operating a pizza stand in France. You want the Za, dude?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, that is how I'm going to refer to this game for the entirety of its existence. And the reason for that is because I was looking up something about the game, and you know how Google has those whole auto questions, like these are the questions everyone asks? One was effectively asking, is Pokemon Legends, I think it's like ZA or whatever, canon, but the person who typed it did not bother to give it any punctuation, so they just typed out ZA. It's like,
well, yeah.
Is Pokemon Za? And it's like, yep, that's its name now. I don't give a fuck.
To be fair, there's literally only a hyphen between those letters, so it's Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah, it's still Pokemon Za to me, bro.
Yeah, no, look, I'm just happy because there were a bunch of rumors floating around before this presents, and most of them had to do with getting really crappy quality black and white remakes. Kind of like the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl ones, where they got ILCA to do a worse version of... not even worse. I mean, okay, there were some improvements over regular Diamond and Pearl, the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah.
But not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the total lack of incorporation of platinum elements was baffling. And all in all, just, like, the art style actually made me miss Let's Go, which...
wow.
Never thought I'd be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's damning on its own, in all honesty.
Right. But no, Pokemon Legends ZA, I was not expecting another Legends game, and if I was expecting another Legends game, I would have figured it would have been Kyurem.
What's Kyurem?
Third legendary of Pokemon Black and White, the representation of Wu-Ji in the Tao Trio.
Those are words.
Yeah, so basically, the legendary trio in Pokemon Black and White, well, the main legendary trio, because there's actually a few of them. Actually, technically they're the only trio now, because the Forces of Nature became a quartet, and the Swords of Justice have always been a quartet, so...
I was gonna say, is this one of those things where it's like, oh, there's a legendary quartet, asterisk.
No, now it's trio, asterisk. I like how you have no frame of reference for any of this, but anybody listening who likes Pokemon, they know. They know.
Yeah, I have... These are just words and silliness that I'm hearing right now.
Anyway, the point is, nobody was expecting a Gen 6 follow-up. Certainly nobody was expecting Gen 6 to get a Legends game right now. And the fact that they're calling it ZA, that's really funny. Because,
Yeah, say, is there a deeper meaning to that, besides it being the letters after X and Y?
Well, it's funny, because it's never been officially confirmed, but it's very widely believed by Pokemon fans that X and Y was originally gonna get a follow-up in the form of Pokemon Z.
Oh, like how there was Platinum after, like, Diamond and Pearl?
Yeah. In fact, X and Y were the first games not to get any kind of follow-up or enhanced version, because Black and White got sequels in the form of Black 2 and White 2.
Right.
But the fact that Zygarde, the legendary Pokemon whose ability is balances out Xerneas and Yveltal, the version mascots of X and Y, didn't have a big role in the game. Just, there, I don't remember all the evidence, but there was a lot of reason to suspect that they were originally going to be working on Z, and then they scrapped it to work on Sun and Moon instead. Well, Sun and Moon, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Point is.
Right.
The fact that this game is called ZA is kind of funny, because it's like, oh, hey, we're finally getting Z! Kind of.
Yeah, it's like we're getting Z after 12 years, or 15 years. I don't remember when those games originally came out.
X and Y, I want to say 2013?
Okay, so 12 years closely.
Yeah, October 2013.
Oh, okay. So...
The other interesting thing is that there isn't really a legendary that fits to represent A.
Okay.
It's pretty much just, it's Arceus, but we just had Arceus, Azelf, who wouldn't fit at all, and Articuno, who might... It's got some Kalos connections, but also it would be weird to elevate Articuno above the rest of the legendary birds opposite Zygarde. So, maybe a whole new Pokemon.
Okay.
And Mega Evolution's back!
So, am I confusing Mega Evolutions with something else? Because I could have sworn that there were Mega Evolutions when I was watching you play, like, Sword and Shield.
No, you're thinking of Dynamax.
Oh, is that the one where your character... That is the one where your character just throws the giant Pokeball at one of your Pokemon, right?
Yeah, and then sometimes certain Pokemon have special Dynamax forms called Gigantamax, but...
Okay, I thought that was a Mega Evolution, so I got very confused. It's like, wait, I thought it was here this entire time.
Nope, Mega Evolutions have been gone since Sword and Shield, actually.
Oh, really?
Which nerfed quite a few Pokemon that really needed them to be viable in the process. Sorry, Beedrill.
Fair.
Anyways, they're back, which is exciting. Can't wait for Mega Charizard Z.
Mega Charizard ZA, thank you.
No, oh god, it's gonna get two. It's gonna get Mega Charizard Z and Mega Charizard A.
Yeah, I could see them doing that. Oh,
Wait a minute! ZA! What's in the middle of Charizard? ZA! Illuminati confirmed!
We're getting a Charizard super legendary evolution that's like so rare it took them 30 years to come up with it.
It's all there! What does it all mean?
This is why I rely on other people to tell me what's going on with Pokemon, by the way.
Yeah. I think I've gone on about this enough. It's coming out in 2025. We don't know exactly when in 2025. They didn't say early, so it might be mid, it might be later.
I could see it being a holiday release.
Yeah, and you know, as much as I want to know more about this game, and because apparently it's only set in Lumio City, which is unusual. But the fact that means we don't get a mainline Pokemon game this year or any kind of like DLC thing, that's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah, so that means they're actually working on the next follow-up game. Maybe the next one will have actual anti-aliasing.
Yeah, maybe it'll run.
I'm sorry, it's like, again, speaking as someone who is not in the Pokemon at all, I could not get over the fact that in the freaking trailers for these newer games, I can see the messed up pixels from, like, the lower resolution of the recorded gameplay. It's like, that is not okay. And I am the last person to complain about graphics in a video game, usually.
Yeah. Graphics in video games, to me, are like sound design in a movie. You don't necessarily notice when they're good, but you notice when they're bad.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, bad sound design is very noticeable, and definitely bad graphics are very noticeable, so I will agree with that sentiment.
But I'm gonna move on now.
Alrighty.
Let me tell you about the Wonka Experience.
Oh, boy. Alright, give it to me.
So this happened in Glasgow.
Okay.
Where hundreds of parents spent...
Oh, no.
spent £35 a ticket.
Oh, Jesus.
For an event inspired by, Willy Wonka and also the recent Wonka movie.
Okay.
That promised to have an enchanted garden, a twilight tunnel, and an imagination lab. And what they showed up to was basically a mostly empty warehouse with a few props scattered here and there.
Oh, no.
And a bouncy castle.
Oh, well, at least they had a bouncy castle.
Let me share some more images.
Okay, because you sent me one, and I described it as, oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the kind of shit that ends up... Oh, fuck. That's bad. That's really bad.
No, it's just a sad look, isn't it?
Oh, it very. That gives a lot more justice to the picture you showed me earlier.
Yeah, the one with the girl dressed as an Oompa Loompa who looks like she's working at a meth lab.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, there were no chocolatey delights at this event as promised. Instead, children were offered a half cup of lemonade and a small amount of jelly beans.
Oof.
As a result, the police were called to the event, and
in
a matter of hours, it was cancelled, so some families didn't even get in at all.
Oh, no. Did people get their money back at least?
I do not know.
Oh, God, I hope so.
The director of the limited liability company that put it together, House of Illuminati.
House of Illuminati?
Yeah, that's what the organizer is called.
Oh no.
The director did promise full refunds, and also admitted that AI was used to generate a lot of the marketing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, gee, wonder what went wrong there when you let a freaking computer write your ads for you and just put it out there.
Man, okay, so I still stand by my earlier description of it looking like Willy Wonka by way of Half-Baked.
Yeah. He also self-published 17 novels last summer, but some of the reviews indicate they might have also been AI written.
Nice!
Yeah, isn't that great?
Got ChatGPT writing my children's books.
So, the event was supposed to involve Willy Wonka trying to compete with some rival known as the Unknown, an evil rival chocolatier.
Are you sure it wasn't a group of small Pokemon?
Good job bringing that back. I like that.
Don't call it a comeback. No, really, don't.
Yeah, no. And the actor who was hired to play not quite Wonka, but basically a send-up, told BBC Scotland News he was handed 15 pages of AI-generated gibberish.
Oh, no. I imagine he had to wing a good part of it, then.
Yeah, it sounds like, a lot of kids were really disappointed, a lot of parents were really upset.
Yes, and yes.
Oh, apparently the jelly beans were rationed to 3 per child.
Bruh, they're jelly beans! You get like a giant-ass bag of them for $20.
Crazy.
How are you gonna ration jelly beans? That is insane.
And it gets, believe it or not, even more cynical than that.
Oh boy, how so? Are there, pamphlets for Scientology or something, too?
No. Bloody Disgusting.
A publication called Bloody Disgusting, okay.
Yeah. It's been announced that a horror movie based on this experience is in production already.
I'm guessing a horror movie based on the experience through the perspective of the patrons, right? Because this looks horrific.
No, it's based on the experience itself.
I mean, it is pretty horrific, so...
No, it's based on what the thing was supposed to be about, functionally.
Oh, boy. Oh, okay, sure. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, and apparently it's supposed to release late this year. This whole
What?
thing happened last week.
What?
This whole thing happened last week, but according to Caledonia Pictures, the production company working on it, the film follows a renowned illustrator and his wife who are haunted by the tragic death of their son, Charlie. Desperate to escape their grief, the couple leaves the world behind for the remote Scottish Highlands, where an unknowable evil awaits them. What about this sounds anything like this?
Why does this feel like another thing trying to chase after the coattails of Blood and Honey? Which is a sentence I never thought I would ever say in my life, by the way.
Because it probably is. I'll guarantee they already had this script ready to go and had nothing to do with anything Wonka related. Then when this happened, they thought, oh, let's just slap the name Charlie on it. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah, let's make Wonka shit.
It's good. What a terrible, just... Ugh. Shame on everybody involved.
Yeah, for real. It's just like pure evil and malice in all of this.
And by involved, I mean responsible.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the actors who showed up thinking that they were gonna do something nice and entertain some kids for a day, you know, give them a fun experience. They tried. I'm sure they did.
Oh, yeah.
But to the organizers, and to now the production company that is taking this whole sad thing and prolonging the shelf life of it by turning it into a paint-by-numbers, in-name only, coattail riding thing off the viral publicity of this experience. It's not the most tasteless thing in the world, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's up there.
It's definitely up there for sure.
Outstanding.
Sorry, in all of this, I just, as horrible as this is, and as much abuse towards the organizers it absolutely should get, I still love this picture of the Oompa Loompa girl.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
It's pretty good. I feel genuinely bad for this woman. But damn, that's a good picture. That is meme-worthy.
Yep. Well, I got some good news.
Oh boy.
Which is that we now have a release date for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem sequel.
Oh boy.
It will be hitting theaters October 9th, 2026.
Oh, okay. So, a couple years out.
And with the same director.
Neat.
Which is good, because that was a really good movie.
It was a good movie. I wonder if they're going to have the same... Well, I imagine there's probably going to be some people change out, especially for the characters that actually died and whatnot, but I'm curious if they'll have a similar quality of, like, ensemble voice cast for it.
I wonder what they're going to do with the rest of the mutants. Like, are they going to factor in, or are they going to help fight Shredder? Because that's a lot of people to fight Shredder.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, God, can you imagine if they managed to get pretty much everybody back? That'd be nutty.
That would be insane. That also sounds really expensive, but that would be insane.
Well, we know the actors for the Turtles and April are reprising their roles for the animated Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, so if they can get them for that, I'm sure they got them for the movie.
Yeah, as I say, I imagine those 5 are not getting replaced anytime soon.
That's right, Jackie Chan was Splinter.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
With the real-life cardboard cutouts of people. Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We gotta play that for movie night at some point. The others gotta see this.
Oh, 100%.
We also got some interesting first looks at some upcoming things.
Oh, boy.
Including a first look at Bill Skarsgård as the Crow in the upcoming remake of the 1994 movie.
Alrighty.
And I'll be honest, the internet seems really mad about this.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, based on the Vanity Fair first look picture, it looks dark and edgy, so it feels like some of the internet would be all over just for that alone.
Apparently it's not the right aesthetic. I don't understand. So, anybody in the comments...
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the correct aesthetic then?
Well, as I understand it, The Crow's kind of a cult film, and it's not one that I'm familiar with, despite actually being based on a comic book. However, now that I'm reading the summary, just the basic log line of what this movie's about, the film stars Brandon Lee in his final film appearance as Eric Draven, a musician who's resurrected from the dead to seek vengeance against the gang who murdered him and his fiancée, all the while being pursued by a sympathetic police officer. Also, said sympathetic police officer is Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
I gotta watch this.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
There is also a sad story around the movie where the main actor, it was his final film appearance because he died on set. It was a firearms incident while filming.
Ooh. Damn. Alright.
Yeah. So, in that sense, I can probably understand maybe some of the vitriol towards the movie, because I'm sure for people... Because it was a film, as I understand it, with a cult following. Which, God, I can't believe I haven't checked this out now, looking at this. Because I've heard this before. I've heard The Crow before, you know, the name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix this. I gotta check this out, and then I'll have an opinion.
Adding it to the docket, then?
Eventually. There's too many movies.
You're not wrong.
There's too dang many movies and not enough... it's not that there's too many movies, there's just not enough free time.
Right, yeah.
If I had the time, I would just kick back and watch movies all the time, but ugh. Good luck. And then we also got a first look at Tron Ares, which, that sure does look like a suit from Tron, I guess.
It's red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else besides that. I've only seen bits and pieces of the original Tron movie. All I can really say, as well as that looks like a Tron suit, alright.
I think I finished the first Tron, and I don't think I ever watched Legacy. Or maybe I didn't finish Tron.
I know I haven't seen Legacy, and like I said, I've only seen bits and pieces, more or less, of the first movie.
But let me tell you about the premise, as has now been revealed.
Oh boy.
Starring Jared Leto, the film follows a highly sophisticated program, Ares.
Starring Jared Leto, no.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Who's sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission, marking humankind's first encounter with AI beings. Now...
technological reverse isekai? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
I hate that term. I hate reverse isekai so much. It's still an isekai.
Yeah.
Just because the perspective changes doesn't make it reverse.
I mean, I think it's in the aspect of, instead of having a modern character die and go back, a back character dies and goes forward. I think that's just always been its description.
Hate it. It's all somebody from one place ends up in another place. They're all isekai. Yes. Alright?
Fair.
Dang. My point is... the main thing that makes me cynical about this is that if they're sending a program into the real world, that sounds like a really good excuse not to have a lot of, Tron-looking sets.
Oh, true.
Because if a lot of the film's spent in the real world, Then again, there was a decent amount of real-world stuff in the regular Tron, I think. In original.
Fair.
God, I gotta watch those too. Dang it.
I don't know if I'll join you for that one, I'm gonna be honest.
No, that's fair. As I recall when I was watching it, Tron was mainly interesting for the visuals.
Oh yeah.
The rest of it was kind of dense.
No, the visuals was very much what sold that movie back when it first launched. That was the talk of the town, was the whole, blue future aesthetic and all that.
And also, I haven't finished the Tron movies, but I did play the Tron levels in Kingdom Hearts, so wasn't there a whole thing about... I feel like Tron Legacy, there was a whole thing about getting Cora, I think was her name, into the real world, because she was an ISO or something, some kind of super specialized program with the ability to create, or something similar.
I didn't know they even implemented Tron in Kingdom Hearts at all.
Oh yeah, Tron's actually a decently major player.
I don't like the sound of that. Granted, there's not a lot about Kingdom Hearts that I like the sound of, so...
No, it was cool. In Kingdom Hearts 2, you get to go into Tron's world, and it turns out that world is actually a copy of another system that Ansem the Wise made, and then in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, you actually get to go to the original version of the grid, which had already fallen to darkness when Hollow Bastion was destroyed, I guess, or at some point. I don't know. It was really fucking surreal to realize that NCOM apparently existed in Radiant Garden.
I don't know what these words mean.
That's right. I'm basically just babbling into a corner.
Because I played a little bit of the music Kingdom Hearts game, and I'm like, yeah, fuck this series.
Oh man.
At some point, I probably should experience more Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know if I will.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And now, Superman news.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so we got a first logo look, and I'll admit, I'm not the biggest fan.
I mean, I'm neutral to it, because I'm sure there's more to it than that, but for me, personally, all it really is just the S with snow.
I don't know, the thing is, for me, the colors are they could pop more. And also, I know it's inspired by the Kingdom Come Superman symbol,
right, but
it looks a little less S and a little more backwards 7.
Oh god, I can't unsee it now.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the lower lip at the end.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's because the bottom looks like it's kind of a really thin part of it.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't see that until you said it.
I mean, I'll wait and see what it looks like on the full suit in full lighting. Maybe it's better.
Hopefully it's better.
Because, that looks so washed out.
Mm-hmm.
But in interesting news, they also cast Perry White. He will be played by Wendell Pierce, an actor whose filmography I am not really that familiar with. Seems to have been in a lot of movies that I either haven't seen or that I barely remember, like Horrible Bosses.
Okay, fair.
And it's also worth noting that the film has undergone a title change.
Okay.
Rather than being called Superman Legacy, it's been retitled to just Superman.
I don't know if that's good.
I actually like that.
Okay.
Because the thing is, Legacy's not a bad title, but it's maybe a little on the nose for the fact that there's been, 7 of these at this point. Granted, most of them aren't connected to this one. But we really don't need a reminder of how many Superman movies there have been before.
Fair.
And funny enough, none of them have been called just Superman. Even the first one was called Superman the Movie.
Wow. That I did not know.
Yeah.
Fair is there's got to be at least one movie that's just called Superman, right?
You would think. You would be incorrect. So I'm lukewarm on the suit, don't have an opinion on Perry White, but I do like the name change.
Okay.
I think the name change is smart. In a probably insignificant way, but we'll see.
Fair.
Anyways, trailers?
Yeah, let's do trailers.
Alright. It's trailer time again! We've got movie previews to watch! It's trailer time again! So, we did get a trailer for The Strangers Chapter 1.
Okay.
And, I'll be honest, this feels like the other two.
Wait, there's 2 of these? I thought there was just one.
No, there was The Strangers, and then there was The Strangers Pray at Night.
Oh. Okay, that I did not know.
And I barely remember either of them.
The
main thing I remember is that The Strangers Pray at Night had a scene near the end where the final girl is desperately swimming around in a pool to try and get away from the killer, or to try and, one-up the killer, and Total Eclipse of the Heart is playing. You know, the Once Upon a Time I Was Falling in Love, Now I'm Only Falling Apart, that song.
You know, as I was watching the trailer, when the couple is terrified and running for their lives, but switched to the music, I'm like, this is the reason this has been added on, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Just this juxtaposition of, actual bloody murder and weird happy-go-lucky song.
I think that's the hook, but also, it's not much of a hook, because it's certainly not the only movie that's done that. Stares at us and fuck the police.
Fair. Which... was beautifully used, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Also, it says how the strangers became the strangers, but they're already strangering.
Yeah.
So this is... What? What are you talking about? This is not how they became the strangers. They're already doing the thing. They're already killing people.
Right.
Unless they die at the end and these new guys become the strangers, but then it's still not how the strangers became strangers.
Yeah. It's confusing no matter what, basically.
I think they're planning a whole new trilogy spun out of this one, too, which is even more distressing.
Oh, that's gross. So when I found out there was more than one of these, okay, so this is just a prequel then. They're not going to do the whole thing of, having multiple parts of a new movie. That's good.
Wait.
And it's never mind.
Wait, they already filmed all 3 of them!
Oh, Jesus Christ, guys.
They're all supposed to be releasing this year! It's the Beatles all over again!
Wait, what was the one film series we talked about, last episode?
The Beatles!
Oh! Okay, yeah, so we've got 2 on the line for watching a bunch of frickin' movies over the course of a year. Let's see if we can keep audience retention.
My god.
This is going to be an interesting experiment, and I hope it fails for both these franchises. One of which I have a lot more interest in because it's a historical movie series, but it's the principle of the matter more than anything else at that point.
I just want to see how the Ringo Starr movie goes, man. That's all I'm here for.
That is fair.
I'm pretty sure Ringo Starr was a narrator on Thomas the Tank Engine for a bit.
I have to look this up. Because, holy shit, I loved Thomas the Tank Engine as a kid. So...
He was the first narrator.
Was he now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You ready for something else brain-breaking? You know who else was a narrator?
No.
George Carlin.
Huh.
Yeah, right?
I can see that. I can see that, honestly.
And then Alec Baldwin, too.
Oh, so he wasn't just in the weird-ass, 2004 movie, then.
No, he was also a narrator.
Oh, I did not know. I thought he just showed up in, what was it, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, I think?
Yeah, wait, 2004? That doesn't sound right. Okay, 2000, cool.
Oh, even better!
I didn't know it was that new. I was like, it has to be older than that.
And there's me showing my age. I mean, I'll be honest as well. First grade me loved the shit out of that movie. I watched.
Oh yeah, same.
All the goddamn time.
I still remember that one preview that had "Do the Locomotion" in front of it.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never. Oh, well, you know what? When I was young, we didn't really go to movie theaters that often. My experience with that movie was on VHS.
Oh yeah, same. I'm pretty sure when I say previews, I mean like commercials on TV.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
At least I imagine that's what it would have to have been.
Right. Man, that's a movie that I still look back on and just be like, how did they get Alec Baldwin and Peter Fonda for this movie?
That's right, they did get Peter Fonda. What the hell?
No, I think he plays the granddad?
He does.
Yeah.
Huh. We got way off topic on this one.
Just a little bit.
Welcome to us talking about Strangers Chapter 1, where we transitioned into Thomas and the Magic Railroad. The even worse part is there's a chain. There's a clear chain of logic. I can track how we got here. This is some 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon shit.
This is 6 degrees of Thomas voice actor shit.
Oh, man. Anyways, we also got a trailer for I Saw the TV Glow, which sold.
Yeah, which is definitely the more interesting of the 2 Justice Smith movies coming out this year.
What's the other one?
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
Oh yeah, that one makes me uncomfortable.
That one makes me sad.
Which presumably means a magical black person is gonna come fix my discomfort?
I mean, it's apparently, again, another completely off-topic thing. When I found out that the movie is kind of playing with the whole magical Negro stereotype, or like the trope in TV and all that, it's just like, okay, you know what? I'll be honest, I'm a lot more interested, but this movie still looks like shit.
And I kinda can't go see it by myself, so...
I mean, you could. It wouldn't be the worst thing ever.
No, I mean, I guess it's theoretically better than if I went to go see, like... No, I did see Sherlock Gnomes by myself. No, I had a really great story once, standing in line, and there was a giant, like, cardboard, standee thing about Sherlock Gnomes, and while I'm standing in line, the person in front of me goes, wait, there's a Sherlock Gnomes movie? And I just went, yeah, it's a sequel to that Romeo Juliet thing. That's crazy. What are you here to see? Sherlock Gnomes.
Just like stunned silence. Ooh, what you say?
just oh god, I've been trapped. Why did I open my mouth?
It's like, why did I do this?
Anyways, I saw the TV Glow. This looks fucking weird, and I'm here for it.
Oh, 100%. Same. This looks like a good, well, I don't know about good time, but it looks like a time.
Honestly, you know what? Let me look at my most anticipated list. I have to bump something off here and put I Saw the TV Glow on it.
Yeah.
I could bump Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters.
Fair.
Like, I'm looking forward to Ghostbusters, but I'm not one of my most anticipated, necessarily.
Right.
It's one of those, I'm waiting for things that release later in the year to give me trailers and therefore reasons to get excited so I can bump it off the list.
That's fair.
In fact, this is shooting up to, right under right under Abigail.
Oh,
Number 2 spot.
Yeah.
No, this seems like a bizarre premise, and it taps into that, to me at least, familiar sensation of remembering something from childhood with varying degree. It feels like a maybe less obtuse, weird, and less experimental Skinamarink. That's the one.
Okay.
Which I didn't mind Skinamarink, but the bigger thing was it just felt like it didn't feel like an interesting enough concept to be a whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like an interesting enough concept to be a whole movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Justice Smith is good. I mean, he was good in Detective Pikachu. He was good in Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah. No, he's a good actor and all that. My problems with American Society of Magical Negroes, besides being a fucking mouthful of a title, holy shit.
And one that I don't feel comfortable saying.
Is that it's like, I don't have any problem with Justice Smith, it's just everything else surrounding the movie and the premise and what they're going for is just kind of like, oh, this is a little boring.
Yeah, but this... I especially like the visuals of the show itself. That weird throwback analog staticky look.
Yeah, with the purple and all that going on too.
Yeah.
No, looks really good.
This better get a wide release. If this stays limited, I'm gonna be very upset.
Right.
I have to send them angry letters or something. Well, it says the release date is May 3rd. Here's hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Anyways, box office time.
Oh boy.
I saw the highest grossing movie this weekend.
To the surprise of nobody, it's Dune Part 2.
You know, I may be a little surprised.
Really?
I don't know that I think anything could have possibly topped it, but I guess I'm just surprised by how well these movies do. We're looking at an $81.5 million domestic weekend and total for a $178.5 million worldwide total, against a $190 million budget, so it's still got a ways to go before reaching profitability. But it is already the highest grossing movie this year so far.
Okay.
It has done in one weekend what took The Beekeeper many weeks.
Fair.
Yeah, how does that... That's such a weird thing, knowing that so far the highest grossing 2024 release is Dune Part 2, and right under that is The Beekeeper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's... We're off to a good start? ...
I guess. Anyways, Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2.
Let me break down the premise. It is a distant future, and a young Wilson Wonka's blood feud with the chocolate cartel has escalated into open war.
Oh, we're doing this now.
Although chocolate is still the reigning currency, it is supplemented by the addition of spice, which can only be mined on this one particular desert planet. And
hey, good transition.
as Wonka's Oompa Loompa birthing pods were destroyed by the chocolate cartel, he has to find a new indigenous people to exploit.
Alright.
Oh wait, I think I'm mixing up my notes. No, hold on. That's the wrong Timothee Chalamet movie. No, so... I'll level with you. This is a very well-crafted movie.
Okay.
In terms of design, in terms of world building, it's well-acted. I can't find much fault with it, except that I'm not engaging with any of it.
Fair.
And I couldn't tell you why.
Okay.
Just nothing sinking in. Gun to my head, if you asked me to put the events of this movie in plot order, I couldn't tell you. And it's not because it's told out of order. There's just a lot in it.
I mean, I would imagine for a nearly 3-hour runtime.
Right? And the first one was 2.5. And the first one stopped right when it was getting interesting.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember us talking about that and how, like, it basically pulled Lord of the Rings Part 1. It's like, shit's getting good. What do you mean it's over?
I mean, I'll live with you. I like the stuff in the Shire.
Fair.
I didn't mind that. One of these days, I'm gonna watch Episode 3. Episode 3? Chapter 3? What do you call it? Return of the King! I'm gonna watch Return of the King!
Book 3.
It's the weirdest thing in the world. I've seen the first 2 Lord of the Rings movies, and I've read the first 2 Lord of the Rings books, and every time I try to read the third one, or think about watching the third movie, it's always... I don't really remember what happened, and do I really have time to go back and watch the other two? No, I don't. One of these days, Alice, bam, zoom, to the fires of Mount Doom.
To the fires and the flames.
We carry on. Anyways, Dune.
Dune.
No, this is a really weird thing where I can see that this is an exceptional movie. I just don't care.
Right.
And there are some standout things in it. Some of the aesthetics are jaw-dropping. It feels like a lot of this was either done practically, or the VFX artists were given enough time to cook.
Right.
It makes all the difference in the world, ultimately.
Hmm.
That's the thing. When you see bad effects in a movie, it usually boils down to either not enough money or not enough time.
Yeah, and it takes you right out of it.
Lately, not enough time, because everybody's in a rush to get their next big blockbuster out so they can start recouping money so they can get back to, everything before, 2020.
Right.
Oh, those were the times.
Those were the days.
Anyways, no, Timothee Chalamet is playing Paul Atreides, not the last heir of the House of Atreides, because his mother is pregnant. His mother, who I might add, seems like she's young enough to be his sister. There's some weird age gaps in this movie.
Fair.
Like, Christopher Walken is the emperor of all space or something, and his daughter is Florence Pugh.
Huh.
And I'm just like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Not in 1,000 years.
That's a bit of a pull, guys. I'm sorry.
There's probably some kind of longevity, age-defying, slowing thing. Spice does all kinds of shit, I think. Like, it's necessary for space travel, it expands your mind or something. Maybe it lets you see the future, or maybe that's worm piss, I don't know. So, having fled from the destruction of his house in the last movie, he's thrown in with the indigenous people of Arrakis, the Fremen.
Okay.
And ingratiating himself into their culture. Some of them believe he's their messiah. And he spends a good chunk of the movie wrestling with, will he embrace this status and rally them against the Empire? Will he cooperate with them but keep himself level with them? Will he give up on vengeance? That sort of thing. And meanwhile, we also get a good amount of time dedicated to the Harkonnen household. They're the bad guys out of all the great houses.
Oh boy.
They're the ones who attacked the Atreides and the... I'm amazed I remember as many of these names as I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, man, for someone who was not engaged with this movie at all, you definitely retain a lot of stuff from it.
Shoot, do I actually like this movie? Maybe I do.
Are you tsundere about this movie?
I don't know! I don't know! For the life of me, I don't know when I'd ever watch it again, but thinking about it, it's like, oh, that was pretty good. They actually did spend a good amount of time with the bad guys. You actually get... Because Dave Bautista is playing Raban, I think?
Mm-hmm.
And then they got... Oh, Austin Butler! He's the one playing Fade Rotha. And he is a scene stealer, I swear to God, because the Emperor, the leader of House Harkonnen is Stellan Skarsgård, Dr. Selvig from Thor.
Oh, really?
He's still got his voice, and he's still got that accent.
Oh, nice.
And Austin Butler does such a good job doing the same accent that I swore to... I thought it was another Skarsgård. I thought it was Bill.
Alright.
And then it's like, oh no, this is somebody... Oh! It's Elvis! Alright. Neat. Let's see, he learns how to ride sandworms and what have you.
That sounds like an experience.
Conducting guerrilla attacks on the... GUE, not GOR.
Okay.
Just imagining them sicking gorillas on the spice field.
It's like, they sent the gorillas! Protect the spice! Whatever you do not put the spice in the wooden barrels. I like to throw that shit.
Oh, man. Trying to contend with his mother's machinations and also his...
That's a word.
Yeah. And also his growing affections for Chani, a Fremen woman played by Zendaya, who does a really good job as the I'm with you, but I swear to God you are walking a dangerous line.
It's the whole thing of like, alright, I'll still be here for you, just, you're gonna die, gonna get yourself killed.
And maybe it's because I haven't read the books, I don't know what qualifies as a spoiler in this.
Fair.
It also doesn't help that I don't remember most of what happened in the first Dune. Like, I remember the final act, and that's about it. Ah, okay, there is one thing that I can't remember the name of for the life of me. It's the Order of Women who all have, like, psychic compelling voice powers and other shit who are secretly manipulating things behind the scenes, trying to get the galaxy to go the way they want. And I swear to God, I can't remember how to pronounce the name. I'm just gonna call them the Penne Regate.
The Penne Regate.
Yeah. That's just, it's Bene something. It's Benoit Blanc or something. The Je suis désolé? No, it's Je suis désolé. I don't know.
I am so lost right now.
I don't fucking know, man.
It's like we're trying to figure out this thing in like 6 ways to Paris.
The Ringo Stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ringo Stars.
I might have been a little hard on this movie, actually. For how much I didn't really click with the first one, this one's definitely got my interest more, and I feel like part of that's just the effect of seeing it in a theater, you know?
I say, do you think this is a movie between, like, the production and sound design and all definitely benefits more from being in a theater than watching it at home?
Oh, 100%. 100%. If I watched this at home, I'd have stopped an hour in and decided, I'll try again later.
Fair.
But
Fair and valid.
No, really good cast, because you got Timothee Chalamet, who, pretty much I know him from this and Wonka, but he's good.
Okay.
Zendaya, good. Is it Zendaya?
I've always called her Zendaya.
I'm gonna figure this out. One sec. Apparently it's Zendaya.
Okay.
How do I not know this? It's been like 5 movies. She was in all 3 of the Spider-Mans. How do I not know it? What is... God! Right. Zendaya. I'm cementing it in my brain. 1 second.
Okay.
I have to figure out what to kick out instead.
I say... Oh god, are you doing the whole Uber Eats commercial thing?
What?
Have you seen that ad? The whole thing of, oh, I didn't know Uber Eats had this. Well, see, I learned this thing where you remember things by forgetting something else.
Oh, no, I'm freeing up space by deleting some extraneous files. Hold on.
In the background, you just hear the AOL dial-up scene. It's home, ladies and gentlemen.
I might edit that in. I mean, it's naturally playing. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't have to edit anything. It's just there. Okay, I've got it. It's locked in now.
Alright.
Rebecca Ferguson is... You know, I don't remember his mom's name. That must have been what I deleted to make room for Zendaya pronunciation. And then also, Anya Taylor-Joy plays his sister, but his sister isn't born yet.
What?
Yeah, apparently she's already cognizant while still in the womb.
Sure.
I don't know if that has to do with the psychic powers or if it had to do with the worm poison, but...
Alright, sure. We take those, I guess.
And, you know, war and the such breaks out.
Yeah, there's a bit of a war going on.
A little bit of a war. God, I'm not knowing what is a spoiler and what isn't makes it real hard. Huh. It's an interesting journey watching him build up this trust, not knowing if he's gonna break it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can only imagine thinking, like, just watching it all go down and be like, ooh, how is this gonna play out in the long term?
Right? And then the ending, spectacular, really.
Okay.
It's big, it's loud, I can actually still follow stuff somehow for the most part. I'm really bad at following stuff in big crowd fight scenes.
Fair.
I get lost in the sauce. Half the time I can't even... Like Napoleon, you remember that? I couldn't tell who was on what side.
Yeah, no, that was a problem with Napoleon. And I'm sure there was probably at least one history nerd who's just like, oh, you could tell them apart by the uniforms. Like, not with how dark and colorless that movie was, dog.
Yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up, nerd. No, I can't.
Even as someone who loves, like, military history, there were times where I was just like, I can't tell who the French is and who the other party is. Right
Motherfucker, now. They're all in blue and beige. What do you want?
Yeah.
No, I find Arrakis to be a really interesting planet. I'm honestly still a little curious how anything ever managed to live there in the first place. Well, I guess it apparently used to be a green paradise, and part of the whole prophecy is that this leader that some of them think Paul is supposed to lead them back to that paradise and make Arrakis that again.
Right.
Should I do a spoiler section for this? Do you care?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Like, I think it's one of those things where I will see the movie at some point, but I'm not so dead set on seeing it that I don't care if I get spoiled on certain things.
Fair. So in that case, I'll say, this is worth watching.
Okay. Even
for not being sure if I liked it, I'm not upset that I saw it. And considering it's almost 3 hours, I hope that comes across as a sincere compliment, because it is.
Yeah.
Because I fully acknowledge that if I didn't like it, I don't think it's the movie's fault. It certainly threw everything it had at getting me to like it.
Right.
It might just be the problem of, I don't remember the first one, and therefore not a lot of details sank in, and that just makes it harder to relate to it, but I don't know.
Right.
Anyways, if you don't want to get spoiled on Dune Part 2, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1. So I feel like the real big twist is that, no, Paul actually ends up accepting the Messiah role amongst the Fremen and rallying them to his cause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Lois said in that one episode of Family Guy, what was it? A quitter never wins, and don't trust Whitey.
Okay.
No, there's definitely some subtext here about, exploitation of indigenous people by rich assholes. That sort of thing.
Right.
And part of it's because, his mom is determined to cement a position of power that they could use to rally them to their cause, because I don't know why. I don't know what her end game is. Aside from, it might just be revenge? There might be a bigger plan. I'm not 100%. Because again, she's one of them shadowy puppet masters.
Revenge by way of indigenous servitude.
And I like how the tension between him and Shawnee builds across this. But it also kind of feels like his eventual embracing of it felt like it came out of nowhere.
Oh, like it's just kind of a switch. Like, oh, well, okay, fine. I guess I'll become their messiah.
Yeah, from my perspective, it felt like a lot of, oh no, but I can't. Oh, but I can't. Oh, but I can't. Well, fine if you insist. However, I might be misremembering, because it might have happened after a particularly bad setback.
Okay.
You know what? I think it might have been after a particularly big setback, and the real problem is not having as much frame of reference for what constitutes a really big setback.
Understandable.
They got some real cool tech here, and by cool I mean disgusting.
Oh, like what?
So there's a thing that the Fremen do where when somebody dies, like when they kill an enemy, like the Harkonnens, they then siphon all the moisture out of their body.
Ooh, so
yeah,
vampires.
Well, they got devices for that. They don't just like.
Oh, well, that's boring.
They don't pull a Helsing Ultimate Abridged and go, nom nom nom. No, they're sophisticated. A more elegant weapon for a more civilized time, if you will.
Suck all the liquids out. The fuck is that? The fuck is this? The fuck are those? And you just see an image of like the movie's box office in like 4 months, and it's just like evil cackling.
Yep. They also have a ritual where I guess when one of them dies through combat or something, like ritual combat, because Paul had to kill a guy to get accepted into the club at the end of the first movie.
Right.
And then near the start of this one, they're transporting him to some ancient reservoir or something that holds the water from the bodies of pretty much all of their dead, and they call it returning him to the water, and they've got this vacuum bag suction machine that does it. It's very uncomfortable.
That sounds deeply uncomfortable.
It's an instant moisture mummifier.
I feel like there's an instant ramen joke somewhere in here.
Oh god. And across this, you see Dave Bautista's character, Robin, whatever it is, gradually unraveling, especially as his father? I don't remember his relation to Stellan Skarsgård, but he's getting more fed up with his shit, and then eventually calls in Austin Butler's Feyd-Rautha, who's an absolute fucking psychopath.
Oh boy.
And the whole time he's being manipulated by the Pene Regate, who are determined to... Also, I looked this up, because, again, I don't know what I'm missing from the first movie and what just hasn't been established, but I guess Paul was straight up just, like, bred by the... I guess, like, in Dune World, you can choose the gender of your kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like you get designer babies or whatever, and...
Oh, hell yeah.
And I guess the Pene Regate are almost always women. Well, actually, always women, but... I guess as an experiment of some kind of, I don't know, super child thing, they decided to say, what happens if we let a boy have it?
It's like, hey, you know what'd be fun? Let's just fuck with the gene pool as an experiment and see what happens. YOLO!
He tampered in God's domain.
Well, he is the Messiah.
Oh, yep, fuck me, you're right. So he ends up God, I'm skipping over almost the entire movie to get to this point, but...
Really?
He lures the Emperor to... He doesn't even lure him, he just sends out an open invitation of, come at me, bro. And the Emperor, I guess, has to oblige, or he'll spill the fact that the Emperor was working with the Harkonnens to exterminate Atreides. And so, big fight happens. Some nukes are launched, because apparently those still exist.
Oh, there's nukes in this.
Yeah, apparently all the great houses have their own stockpile of atomic warheads.
Aight.
And Josh Brolin hid all of Atreides in a really obvious spot, knowing nobody would look for them. And it works. So, I mean, it ain't stupid if it works, I guess.
Yeah, fair.
Big fight happens. Fade Rotha and Paul... Why did I say it like that? Fade Rotha and Paul Atreides get into a big one-on-one knife fight. Paul does something from, I think, the first movie. He does like a reverse knife grip switcheroo thing on him or something. I didn't see it play out. While he's holding on to the other knife. He's gripping the other knife with his hand, like a fucking boss. That was pretty impressive.
Alright.
Basically, gives up being with Chani and goes, okay, I beat the Emperor, now I'm the Emperor, points at Florence Pugh, you're gonna marry me.
Okay.
So Josh Brolin says, sir, they won't accept your ascendancy even if you threaten to blow up the spice fields because they know you're full of shit. And he goes, alright, galactic war it is.
Okay.
And it ends there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, once again, it feels like both of these movies so far have felt like they either needed an extra chapter or an epilogue at least.
Because they end at, like, the most interesting part, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the most interesting for this one. This one was plenty interesting. It just doesn't end at what feels like a natural stopping point.
Right.
It feels like the conflict is just about to escalate. Actually, you know what? I guess that is kind of a fitting time, because the conflict hasn't escalated quite yet, but it's about to.
Okay.
So, shoot, yeah, I might actually like this movie.
After talking over, he's like, oh shit, this movie's actually pretty good.
Is this Wonka all over again? What is it about Timothee Chalamet movies? I'm not looking forward to this. Comes out, oh, that was good, actually.
Well, hey, at least this time you weren't completely going over like, this movie's gonna be shit, it's gonna be bad. It goes through the movie's like, I have to tell Jimmy that this movie is actually really good.
Yeah, he's like, at least I don't have to trudge up to anybody going, yeah, it was good. Yeah, I was captivated. What of it?
What you gonna do about it?
Want to fight about it? Whatever. No, I dare I say, I'd watch a third one of these.
I mean, it sounds like there's going to be a third one.
Well, I think we gotta see what this one does, because it's doing well, and I think it's actually doing better than the first one.
Right.
But, the first one had simultaneous straight-to-streaming release, because it came out, what was that? Was that in 2020, or was that 2021? Hold on.
What is it? That is a good question I do not know the answer to, unfortunately.
2021. Okay, that was in what, like November-ish? October, yep. Okay, so that was a mere 2.5 years ago or thereabouts. Oscar Isaac was his dad? What?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Oscar Isaac was Duke Leto Atreides.
Huh.
No relation to Jared Leto.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Thankfully. I wouldn't put it past Warner Brothers to go, yeah, this is really popular and it's making money, but it's not making enough money. Because unfortunately, that's the name of the game right now.
Right.
It does still have time, though. I don't know what the next thing that would be I guess Godzilla vs. Kong would be the next big competition. But that's not out for another couple of weeks, so Dune's still got another weekend. Oh yeah, Godzilla Kong doesn't come out until end of this month. Maybe Ghostbusters, but I feel like Ghostbusters is also shooting for a different audience.
Fair.
Although that audience includes families, so who knows. Because I don't think Kung Fu Panda's doing it. I don't think Kung Fu Panda's dethroning this. Not when there's been 4 of these.
Yeah, as I say, I have a hard time seeing that happening.
Yeah. Well, I actually do hope this gets another one, because I want to see how shit gets worse.
Right.
Miscellaneous notes. I did not take a lot of them.
Okay.
Why did that one guy throw up? Oh, yeah, there's a bit where there's some kind of raid on the spice fields going on or something, and Dave Bautista's character insists on following something, and for some reason one of the pilots throws up, and I don't know why. Stilgar's off riding sandworms again.
Oh.
There's a whole thing about Paul learning how to ride a sandworm, and like it's a big test of him being accepted into the Fremen. And he's mentored by Stilgar, who's played by Javier Bardem. And yeah, there was something about the way it was shot that just made me think of the others sitting there going, he's at it again. Probably my favorite thing in the whole movie. Okay, second favorite thing, because my first thing is another note here. To not attract sandworms, you have to mix up the rhythm and tempo of your steps. So there's a lot of weird walking and a lot of weird foot sweeps and what have you. And for some reason, you've heard the song Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time?
Yes.
All I got in my head during those scenes is the line, fancy feet dancing through this town. Lost my mind in a wedding gown. Don't think I'll ever get it now. But I think my actual favorite thing in the whole movie, aesthetically at least, is we get a few scenes on the Harkonnens' planet.
Okay.
And I think their sun is just black or something, because the whole planet is black and white on the outside.
Okay.
Everything is... It's like the Shadow Realm in Love and Thunder, but a whole planet.
Oh, okay.
And their fireworks look like weird ink blot explosions. It was crazy.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. I had a good time with it. I think that about wraps it up. Shit, now I kind of want to see this again now. Fuck! Maybe I just needed to articulate my thoughts. Huh. Weird. Oh well, I reserve the right to change my mind about anything for any reason. I don't owe anybody nothing.
Yeah, fair. Fair and valid.
So with that said, I still think it's worth seeing. And with that also being said, thanks so much for listening, everybody.
Yes.
If you said anything, I didn't hear you.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I was just waiting you to go to the whole, next week.
Yeah, I figured you had something, but, whatever. Next week...
Yeah, just completely frozen blanked up, as one does.
Oh, it's fine. So next week, we got a couple of options, and, I should say, I guess I have a couple of options, because you've got an event.
Yes, I do. I've got motorsports.
So, this might be one where I see and then talk about two movies, because Kung Fu Panda and Imaginary are both out. And while I'd rather see Kung Fu Panda 4 over Imaginary, Imaginary is a horror movie, so I'm probably going to see it anyway.
Fair. I mean, of the two, if I can make the time for it, I'm going to attempt to see Kung Fu Panda. But we'll see. Yeah,
I guess we'll figure out. We could take a look at times for movie night, I guess, and then go from there. In any case, thanks again for listening, everybody. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want to do. We're also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, what have you.
We're on most of the major things that one uses to consume their podcast, I guess.
Yeah, we're on a lot of them. We're on
a bunch of them. We're on about a few of them.
About a few. That's probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.